The return of the Bitcoin price to $11,000 happened due to two powerful impulses. Ripple, or rather XRP, is the future digital dollar, and the star of this market, Yearn Finance, has grown 35%. Welcome to the Coin Post. I'm in a good mood today, because the Bitcoin price has exceeded $11,000 again and even hit $11,400 once. This episode is about a $50 million Bitcoin investment from Square, the follow-up of the CFTC and the Bitmex story, the rapid growth of the EOS, the Ripple relocation, and the DeFi token collapse. I'm sure you're gonna find it fascinating, so get yourselves comfortable, open your favorite cryptocurrency reviewer, and before we start, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Let's dive in. The return of the Bitcoin price to $11,000 happened due to two powerful impulses, and then there was a third one with the price of over $11,400. The first one coincided with the news that Square payment company, led by Jack Dorsey, the co-head of Twitter, purchased $50 million in Bitcoin. Later on, the company published an entire document, basically a manual for legal entities on how to buy Bitcoins. Of course, it's not as cool as MicroStrategy, which invested $425 million in Bitcoin. Nevertheless, it's also great news. The point is that we finally witnessed real Bitcoin investment from companies and not some hidden contributions through various funds like Grayscale. But I do have a question for Square. Isn't it that you have the Cash app through which in the second quarter of 2020 you sold $875 million worth of Bitcoin? No, I'm not trying to spoil the news, I just want you to know that Square is already immersed in the cryptocurrency industry, which is why it chose Bitcoin as an investment asset. And if it was Google, for instance, then this would have really blown up the market. About this, next. The US cryptocurrency price has soared this week by as much as 40%. This happened after the information that Google Cloud would become one of the block manufacturers in the EOS blockchain, basically a validator. The project team added that Google really knows which blockchain is the best and that they made the right choice. But then the price went down and lost more than half of its growth. Why is that? Because we tend to exaggerate things. Just because Google is getting to know technology doesn't mean that YouTube will switch to EOS tomorrow. Corporations are always looking for new opportunities and then copying or buying them, and no one can guarantee that Google's cooperation with EOS will continue anyway. All we can assume is that, out of courtesy, they will create a press release that calls cooperation productive and technology promising, what could lead to another short-term growth, though it's still unclear whether there's something afterwards. In spite of all the stated advantages of EOS, this concept is not successful because there is no widespread use, and the same DeFi services are much more represented on Ethereum. But let's talk about them closer to the end, and for now, a few words about Bitmex. You've heard the story of an American regulator trying to shut down a leading cryptocurrency and send its management to jail for working without a license, violating bank secrecy, and money laundering. It is, of course, about the Bitmex exchange. Now, this story has an unexpected follow-up. The executive leadership, which the regulator accused, they stepped back and resigned. So whoever had memes with Arthur Hayes as the head of Bitmex, you can delete them. Such actions indicate they partially admit their guilt and an attempt to pass the buck to the former leadership. The whereabouts of Arthur is unclear, but Samuel Reed was released from custody after he paid a bail of $5 million and promised to show up for the trial. The truth is he only paid $500K, and the rest was on parole as a fine if he doesn't show up in court. Interestingly, they took more than 55,000 Bitmex Bitcoins after the Bitmex trial news. However, the process did not speed up after the leadership change. Maybe those who wanted, they'd already taken everything, or maybe the analysis didn't pay much attention to it yet. What's also interesting is where these bitcoins went, as most of them went to Binance, Gemini, and Kraken. So of all people, traders from Bitmex are definitely not going to hodl. And we're halfway through the video, so give us a thumbs up. And next we're talking about Ripple and Defi-tokens future. Ripple, or rather XRP, is the future digital dollar. This is what they believe in this cryptocurrency community, despite the fact that Ripple heads debunk such theories with their actions. Chris Larsen, the co-founder of Ripple, stated that the company was considering moving its headquarters overseas in response to excessive regulation. As the head of the company, Bragg Garlinghouse did not refute these claims, but, on the contrary, indirectly reaffirmed them. He wrote that Ripple was not looking to avoid rules, they just want to operate in a jurisdiction where these rules are clear. I can already see in the comments something like, "You know nothing about XRP and their cunning plan to take over the world." Well, maybe so. But you'd agree that creating a dollar replacement and planning to leave the US don't add up. By the way, the good news is that they announced a new line of credit product. It's XRP loans from Ripple for companies that use liquidity on demand. That is, they make transactions via the RippleNet and convert to XRP and back. The fact that the payment service is developing and getting new functions is really good. And I'm moving on to the final topic, the 25% cheaper DeFi tokens, or not anymore. The sentiment analysts brought terrible news. The collective market cap of all DeFi-related assets has shrunk by 25%, with daily trading volumes down by a combined 30%. In addition, there's increasing criticism of decentralized finance. So the CEO of FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, called the current volumes bullshit that exists until the story with mining, aka yield farming, is over. Once those incentives are exhausted, so will the popularity and then the price. The US Securities and Exchange Commission also showed interest in the DeFi, and as its representative, Hester Pierce, stated they have a lot of questions about those tokens. We all remember their crusade against the ICO, the main victim of which was Pavel Durov with his Telegram Open Network project, which we'll never be able to see anymore. So if the SEC also succeeds in confronting the DeFi, the fall I talked about at the beginning will be the least of our problems. But DeFi is not giving up so easily. While I was telling you the bad news, Link price soared 15%, and it's more than $10 again. And the star of this market, Yearn Finance, has grown 35%, returning to the price above $18,000. Uniswap and SushiSwap tokens grew 30% too, and I could go on forever. I go along with the FTX head, as there is now more hype and speculation in the DeFi industry than there's real use. And the main question that all the DeFi token owners should answer is, are we past the peak of this hype? Or is it still ahead? Think about it, it really matters. And I'm waiting for your feedback in the comments below the video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then what you waiting for? Click the buttons and ring the bell please. And I'd appreciate it if you could help me share this video on social media and messengers. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. It's the Coin Post channel. Subscribe and get enlightened.